Hello and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo News Report for Thursday, January 4th, 2018. I am Alex Kalafi, your host for this installment and most of the others, joined by a full panel of Nintendo News reporters. As always, I am joined by one Mr. Donald Terrio. Hello.
I'll probably be a little bit more quiet tonight just because my power situation is still a bit in flux. That and we have some $99 Dream Daddy DLC with us tonight.
Oh yeah, we are joined by making his rare appearance, Mr. Director Neal Ronahan of Nintendo News Report with some exciting news that is.
I'm gonna have a baby.
Woo!
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not actually going to have it. My wife is, but like I fathered it.
So this is not a junior situation?
No. It's always like whenever you phrase things like "I'm gonna have a baby," everybody's just like, "Oh, it's a junior situation, isn't it?" Like no fail.
This is my daughter, Neil Jr.
Yeah. Well, no, like the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah, Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Emma Thompson.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot that Emma Thompson was in that.
Yeah, it's a terrible film.
Yeah, it's not great, but it set the standard for men having a child.
It did. It's a low bar.
Other voice you're hearing, Mr. Zachary Miller from Alaska. Hi.
Meh, 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 meh.
Exactly.
The voiceover lines in Patapon are the same. Could be the same voiceover lines.
I mean, for people that are farther in Xenoblade 2 than I am, has Poppy just punched that Nopon in the face yet? Like, I'm all about Poppy, but
Poppy's great.
Poppy's amazing.
Nopons were cute in the first Xenoblade. I did not care for them in X. I very much do not care for them in 2. There's a whole lot of There's too much Nopon in Xenoblade 2 so far.
Also, hi, Justin Burby. Hi.
Hey, I'm here.
All right, as you were saying.
I'm not trying to cut anyone off.
I didn't know there were no pawns in the first game because I didn't play it.
There was Ricky in the first game, and he was one of the most charming characters in that whole game. And he is a critical party character for one very hard late game boss.
Yes.
Oh.
And also the thing is that like they waited until like, I don't know, probably 40 hours in before they dropped the Nopons on you, and it's really mostly relegated to that one town, and then like the rest of the game's fine. And
the town's a mess.
Yeah, no, that town is hell to navigate. Maybe it was a warning of like, hey, the map in this town is terrible. The map is going to be terrible in Xenoblade 2. Get ready.
Good lord, it is.
6 years, this is going to pay off.
I don't think it's terrible, but we'll talk about that. It's yeah.
The update made it a lot better. I can say that much.
In Xenoblade 2,
it went
was
from
an update. It made it better. How bad was it before?
It was real bad.
It's in Xenoblade 2, the greatest debate is going to be whether a feature is terrible or has a learning curve. But that's going to be our closer. There's a little teaser for the closer of this show. We talked about Xenoblade 2 for like half of last week's episode, but we're going to talk about it for a good chunk of this week's episode.
Because there ain't no news.
There's one news story. The Switch is the fastest selling video game console ever in the United States. 4.8 million Switches have been sold in the first 10 months, 20% increase over the Wii that previously held that record. Mario Odyssey has sold 60% of Switch owners. It's a 60% attach rate, or at least 2.88 million copies. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sold to 55% of Switch owners, which is over 2.64 million. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 50%. Over 2.4 million, and Splatoon 2, 20%, over 960,000. Go.
Can we just marvel at the fact that Mario Odyssey has been out for a little over 2 months, and they've already got a 60% attach rate?
I was about to say that,
nuts.
yeah.
Also, so Zelda was like at a 100% attach rate at launch.
Almost 100.
Has the Switch version not sold that well since then?
No, it's
because how like when it was because what it was that first month it was like a 100% attach rate. What were the numbers then?
Over 100, right?
It was like 900.
Oh, that's what it was.
102%.
Yeah, so it was like 950,000, I think. For
okay, so they've still moved 1 million Switch Zelda units since then.
Yeah, just a lot. I think we might have a lot of people upgrading from the Wii U who probably got that version, which I think will end up shipping 1 million.
Yeah.
And there's probably
no,
more like younger kids hopping on from Mario Kart and stuff since the holidays that aren't interested in an epic game like Zelda.
Right. I mean, if you think about the launch, there wasn't that many games to choose from, at least from a Nintendo fan's perspective. So a lot of people, I guess more than 100% of the people were stuck with Zelda. Now that there's Xenoblade, now that there's Mario, now that there's all these other games, people can actually make the decision, actually, I'm not a Zelda person. Maybe I'll get it later, but I'm not going to get it today.
Yeah, it's kind of telling because I have, I mean, anecdotally, most of the people that I know who have Switches, all of them have Splatoon 2, all of them have Odyssey, all of them have Zelda, all of them have Mario Kart. So it's like those are the top 4 games that are selling, and that makes sense. And then there's a smattering of other indie games. Maybe they picked up like a Doom or a Skyrim, and that's a pretty healthy Switch library right there.
Yeah. Last year a while.
I've already got a dozen Switch games physical now, so
yeah, I have a lot more than I expected. I started going a little more physical.
Yeah,
like because I got Doom, I got Fire Emblem Warriors, I bought Poi, and then probably haven't played it yet. But I have a good amount of physical Switch games.
Me too, actually.
Well, and Zach, you're also buying physical copies of games you reviewed, as we established last week. So
maybe
I've done that.
I like the little bonus stuff that Nicholas puts in there.
Right, that was
nice.
A different show last week.
Yeah, I got The End Is Nigh.
Yeah, man.
Still haven't played it. There's a theme, if you can't tell.
The voice actor for the character in The End Is Nigh is Rich Evans from Red Letter Media, which I'm very excited about. So I might play it. It's if anyone has Humble Monthly, it is free as part of their library on there.
Like, FYI, Alex, there's not a lot of voice acting in this game.
It's basically just the intro, isn't it?
Intro and the outro.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, so I've seen half of his performance. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But The End Is Nigh, the soundtrack is really nice, because I was looking, plug for the Patreon podcast that you can subscribe to if you are a patron of this here website. You have to go to patreon.com/NWR. You can see the tiers. If you are at any one of them, you get a monthly podcast. That's been me, Donald, and Zach going over months in review. So we talked about The End Is Nigh in the latest episode, and I pulled some music from that game to use as the intro, and that music's real good.
It's not as good as Meat Boy, but
the original Meat Boy.
Yeah, of course.
That's why, I have such little urge to ever play Meat Boy again because
same.
Outside of the 360 version, the music is subpar.
They updated over the PC version, which I can say because I'm almost done with my first playthrough of Super Meat Boy, which I started over Christmas break.
Nice.
They patched it out of the PC version?
I'm pretty sure because it has all this Bit Trip Runner and all these indie collaborations, and the art style seems kind of too smooth for being that original game.
That was that original game.
Is it really?
Yeah, they had all the retro stuff in the original game.
New Super Meat Boy versus
They just changed the music. That was it.
Oh, because, so the visuals are the same?
Andy Baranowski wouldn't let him have the music.
Yeah, I mean, they could have updated the PC version with it, but I know because I think the 360 and the PC version both would have had the original music at some point. I'm pretty sure this 360 version still does.
Got it.
But the PS4 release that I played when it was on Plus had different music, and I did not like it.
Got it. Maybe it is the same. It's maybe someone in the chat can tell us. Okay. Yeah, that's fantastic. My question is, one, how close are we to surpassing the Wii U's lifetime? And two, how well is Xenoblade 2 sold?
The second one, get back to me in a couple of weeks when the NPDs are out. It's doing all right in Japan. First one, they've at this point, given that the sales for just December alone appear to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.5 million in the US alone, and they've been putting up 200,000-300,000 in Japan consistently. If we haven't passed the Wii U by now, we probably will by this time next week.
it's nuts. Like,
Yeah.
even when things were going well, like the first month, you're like, well, it's still a stretch to think that they like. It'd be funny if they did it, but I don't think the Switch will outsell the Wii U in its first year alone. But they're gonna do it in like what 10 months?
Yeah.
Like
Just
it's
goes to
crazy.
show you, give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want and get your shortages out of the way early so that you have a full stock at Christmas.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Which I think might support that earlier in the year launch, because I think Nintendo pitched a perfect game with the Switch. Like there's not really a lot of things that they stumbled. I guess the online, like their online subscription thing, they stumbled on, but they fixed that by pushing it to like fall next year, and also releasing that Splatoon 2 app, and then like never talking about it again.
And they also stumbled on My Nintendo Switch Rewards.
Yeah.
Can I just go ahead and make my one prediction for this show this year? That Nintendo Online is going to get delayed till the next generation of consoles.
I think it'll still happen. I just don't know what kind of changes are going to happen to it when it does.
Well, it'll be this fall. I mean, they said as much.
It's
Well,
just
they also
that
said it
point-
was going to be early this year. They also said it was going to be last fall.
I still think it'll happen.
Yeah,
The only
I think
thing
it'll
I'm wondering-
happen. I just don't know what it's going to be.
And at what
Nintendo
point?
might not know what it's going to be.
Yeah, at what point do you have to accept that, you know what, we've been playing Splatoon 2, ARMS, Mario Kart, Minecraft, whatever, online for more than a year for free, and then to start charging for it? I mean, Xbox Live is the only console I can think of that introduced an online pay service in the middle of a generation, because it came out like a year after the Xbox, and there were no online games before that.
But I don't think that's as big of a problem with this, depending on how they do it. Which, at least from what they have said so far, it's that it's only going to be $20 a year. Which it's what, a third of the cost of Xbox Live and PS Plus.
Yeah.
And they're also going to be including like the retro games as part of a subscription service. I think that was the last reporting on it. Wasn't that it was going to be like, you get one for a month and that's it.
It's not just online games; it's the online games, or it's the retro games with online capability.
Yeah,
Right.
and it'll be
Makes it more attractive.
You can play Balloon Fight with a friend online,
But not
Thank
golf.
God.
yeah, and Super Mario Kart. You might be able to play some battle mode 1-on-1 with a friend online. Like that's kind of novel, but still, if they have,
we're going.
where $20 a year, you're going to get some old games, and you need this to pay for online. I don't think that's as drastic as some of the other things. I mean, I think Sony did that with a PS3, didn't they?
PS3 Online they've never put online play on the PS3 behind the PS Plus wall.
Okay.
They had to, they started doing that with the PS4, but
PS Plus was just a separate thing.
It was just games and some bonuses.
Yeah, and basically it's like our new the PlayStation 4 will retail for $399, and also we're charging for online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody cared because they were still in the afterglow of the last good E3 press conference.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go by Nintendo's virtual console pricing, it would pay for itself after 4 months if it's all NES games.
Yeah. No, I mean, like probably everybody on the show's in for it, but we're not the demographic they have to worry about.
Yeah. I mean, we're just weird. Like Nintendo owns us. Like we'll buy most of what they put out, or at least 60-70%.
I will play Balloon Fight online.
Once.
I'll be like, that was a good time. I'm just gonna play Balloon Trip every now and then and call it a day.
Right.
On the leaderboards.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean that's really, if they do some of those old games, just add in online leaderboards, like that'd be fine.
Yeah.
Be a compelling hour.
Yeah.
All right. The next thing we got to talk about, which is not a news story, but people keep talking about it like it's a news story. So like I have to remind myself that it's not formally a news story. Everyone's saying that there's a direct on January 11th.
I want to start this off.
Oh, and Amazon. There's actual reason to think it.
Oh, yeah. There have been a whole lot of rumors about this direct on January 11th. I've heard some things about that specific date. However, all of those things that I heard about that date were in like mid to late December, so things could have changed since then. It it seems very reasonable to expect that there will be a Nintendo Direct imminent, whether it's January 11th, whether it's some other time next week, whether it's near the end of the month. I think that will definitely happen. I have just a few doubts about it being specifically January 11th. Like, if you were to ask me a percentage, like, I'm probably 75% confident that there will be a Direct on January 11th. But there's a quarter of me that's kind of like, I feel like there could be kind of some rug being pulled out from under us, and it could have just been a possible date that was thrown around and spread like wildfire, and not a firm.
That wasn't in the EA thing that leaked out, right? The marketing materials.
That there was a January Direct, yes, not the specific
but
date.
not. Okay.
Right. And Amazon, if you don't know, they put up like 28 listings or something that
Like
were all
40 or
for
something,
for games that were to be announced at a Nintendo event. And
Yeah.
it seemed like it was some formal text. Like that wouldn't happen by accident. And then there's also the fee
Yeah. Is
EA
it Faye
internal
or Fee?
Faye.
Eh.
But I did do a Twitter poll. Granted, my sample size ended up being 25 people, so take it with a grain of salt, but I did ask people what's happening in January. A regular Direct, a big January 2013 style Wii U Direct, an event on a stage, because Amazon said event, although that probably doesn't matter, or nothing. 52% said regular Nintendo Direct, 32% said huge Nintendo Direct, 12% said stage event, and 4%, which would be one person, said nothing.
Well, I doubt it's going to be that Wii U style one.
What if it's nothing?
Yeah.
Fix it all.
Yeah, I think it would be the first one from there.
Yeah.
I think
The regular Direct.
it'll be a Direct. I think they've set a pretty good expectation over the one. What? Because there was the September one, and then there was the April one.
Right.
Like that kind of like the headline cadence of that, with like 3 to 4 games that they focus on a lot more. I think. If a Direct were to happen next week, we'll probably see more on Kirby. Like, that'll probably be a spotlight game. Some mention of Bayonetta and Dragon Quest Builders.
Mm-hmm.
And just, basically, any other game that we know about that's coming out in the next month or two. So, like, Payday 2, I think, is the end of February. That'll probably show up.
Yeah, that's gonna build Trinan voiceover all over it.
Yeah, whatever, Nindy games, maybe like Dandara will finally get a release date or something. I don't know. And then we'll see more on Fire Emblem Switch, maybe more on that Yoshi game. I know some people have been saying like, "Oh, Metroid Prime 4 is going to show up."
No,
I think that's.
it would be real nice, but no.
Giving us a little more information on Metroid Prime 4, that could just be like, once again, another rumor that's been floating around is that like whoever's developing it, like maybe they'll just be like, yo, like, guess what? It's like Armature's working on Metroid Prime 4, which is 100% not happening.
Good.
Like, they might say that and just be like, we'll have more in the future.
It's a Japanese man talking into a camera while some PR is shown.
It'll be Tanabe saying, we're gonna have this company help us out with Metroid Prime 4.
Look forward to Morty 3.
Yeah, and here are the two people that they did that with Smash Brothers, where they were like, Bandai Namco's helping out. Here's the two dudes that are like the kind of the director and producer that are working with Sakurai on this. Like that's.
But the question is, will he be wearing a Mario Odyssey hat?
Well, not Tanabe.
Oh damn!
But
you're
mixing with a Japanese guy.
Koizumi is the Odyssey hat dude.
Right.
He's also the face of the Nintendo Directs recently.
Yeah.
So yeah, he might be wearing an Odyssey hat.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll hear about Odyssey DLC. That's something that I remember hearing some buzz about, but I never heard more about.
What do they have to DLC with that game? The 1000th moon?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I really have a lot of interest in Mario Odyssey DLC.
No, make it so you don't have to buy any of the moons to reach 999. They'll fill it in with actual.
Yeah,
there you go.
It could be like Destiny, where like they just sort of power level you up to the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe more Octopath Traveler, I would hope, from a Direct, and maybe a release date for that. Like Octopath Traveler looks friggin' awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll have prettied up the character sprites a little because they're ugly.
Get over yourself, old man.
They could talk about.
Sorry, she's wearing too much clothing.
Yeah.
No, she just looks
Xenoblade
like a
DLC.
squat midget. They all do.
I'm probably going to get tarred and feathered for this, but how about a Deep Strange Journey release date since we have Alliance Alive and Radiant Historia already dated?
Yeah, that's the only Atlas one that doesn't have a date yet, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
I just want to see the world burn. So any 3DS content in this is fine by me.
Yeah. And that would be, I would say, Deep Strange Journey, maybe, but like May. That sounds right.
Yeah.
The other ones, like they got one in February, they got one in March. That seems about right.
That's about an Atlas release cadence. Yeah.
You think we could hear about some more Wii U ports so they get more money off of those old games?
Well, I mean, we got Bayonetta 1 and 2. I feel like if you have too many Wii U ports at once, it spoils the batch.
True.
Yeah.
But what pray tell, Justin, would be a Wii port that you would want to see? A Wii U port that you would want to see?
Well, I guess it would have to. Well, there's a couple. Let me name 3 here real quick. Updated ports: Mario Maker, Smash Brothers. I think they could probably do a port of Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze as well, because I think that underperformed, and they probably want to make some more money off of that title if they think there's a market for it.
I feel like Tropical Freeze, like that seems to be a thing that would make sense, like especially to fill in a gap. My thing with Mario Maker and Smash, like as we're kind of a year into the Switch, and like I'm pretty satiated on games, I'd rather just see a new one of each of those games.
Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna do, or it's gonna be like it's gonna be a Splatoon 2 situation.
That's what I'm thinking it's going to be.
Like Super Mario Maker Deluxe.
I
Smash
bought
Bros. With the ice climbers.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm waiting for.
I bought Tokyo Mirage Sessions with some Christmas eShop money, so that's probably inevitable.
That would be nice because I'd like to play that.
I feel like, yeah, because I think you tweeted about that, and that led to some discussion where the one hope with Tokyo Mirage Sessions is that with Shin Megami Tensei 5 coming to Switch, maybe they would like do that as like a test of their engine, but they're using Unreal Engine, so that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and the Yoshi will be able for Shin Megami Tensei 5 will.
Yeah, I would welcome Tokyo Mirage Sessions on Switch, but
Xenoblade X too.
I don't know when. And yeah, I mean, didn't Takahashi from Monolith made the comment about how he's like, I want to bring that to Switch.
I think it's too soon for that. I think that could happen next year or something.
Yeah, they should do their DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 first.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait till the story stuff is out for that season pass that I bought over Christmas too.
Is anyone else really hoping to see Rex in the next Smash Bros? Because I actually think he's like low-key an amazing protagonist.
I'd rather see Pyra, but yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well,
I think Rex and Pyra as a team would be.
Oh, okay.
It'll be like the Pokemon trainer with Pyra in the background.
Yeah, I was thinking
just like awkwardly, like goes onto a rope to get out of harm's way.
Or it'll be, no. If it's like the Pokemon trainer, Rex will be off screen, and your 3 fighters will be blades.
Yeah, it's yeah, I think Rex is awesome. I don't know why I think Rex is awesome, but there's something that I love about Rex, and I think he's way better than Shulk, even though I like Shulk. And I will talk about that in Xenoblade, but I keep thinking to myself, he's definitely going to be in the next Smash, especially if Xenoblade 2 does okay.
I do think that he's preposterously annoying. And the only thing that redeems Rex for me is the fact that I think Pyra, despite her ridiculous outfit, is a pretty good character.
Pyra's a good character and like an excellent waifu. Like also as someone who doesn't, she's not my waifu, but like I think she fits like whatever you're looking for out of that character. She checks every box and then some.
She has plot and backstory.
There you go.
And there's a new figure coming out for her.
It's a bad figure though.
All right, I'm gonna look up this figure just because I want to see if they like it just
it's by Good Smile.
It's baffling because she's a good character, and then I just look at her outfit and I'm like, what were they thinking? Like she's just too much. And then I just got like the weird like sea creature blade Dahlia that like looks like something went wrong.
There's some weird ones I've gotten. So.
The only we'll talk about it, but I've only got one other rare blade. Pissed me off.
All right, we'll talk about Xenoblade soon. And
that isn't a good figure.
No, it's not. It's shitty.
All right, Before we move on to what we've been playing, because there's not much news, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games that I came up with here, and I'm going to read each one, and I just want a yes or no. Will it be at the Direct? All right?
All right.
Pikmin 4.
No.
I think that's an E3 game.
Fire Emblem.
No.
Maybe.
Yes.
Well, wait. Which Fire Emblem?
The one that they announced technically last year.
Yeah. I
Switch
think
one.
we'll see that at a Direct. I don't know how much, but I think we'll see it.
All right. Dragon Quest 11.
No chance in hell.
No, they got.
I'm not going to say no chance in hell, but I'm going to say no.
Fat Shot.
Yeah, like I think they'll focus more on builders than going to do anything with Dragon Quest.
They did say when they said like it was coming to the West, they're like more details in the fall, and that came out. So that's why I won't say no chance in hell. I just don't think we're going to see it right now.
Got it. Super Mario Maker.
No.
Was there one yes in there or no?
No.
All right. Super Smash Brothers.
Maybe.
No.
No.
And the
Maybe
last,
just like, by the way, we're making a Smash Brothers. I can see that kind of a thing.
They don't really have any upcoming amiibo, so maybe they roll out some more player 2s. I wouldn't mind a female Robin.
We're making a Smash Brothers for the Switch and also the 3DS.
They might do just for making it, but I don't think we're gonna see it. I could see that happening and be like, more details at E3, suckers.
Smash Brothers for new 3DS.
new
Smash
3DS
Brothers
XL.
for Switch for 3DS.
All right, the last one, and this is one I totally just came up with as wouldn't this be crazy, but also maybe new Super Mario Brothers.
I really hope not. No, it's too.
Might be right
It's too soon
Right?
after Mario Odyssey.
But it's really okay if they're gonna do a new Super Mario Brothers, and I guess I will doctor this to be 2D Mario, like new art style.
There's a better chance they do Mario 3D World
Yeah.
on the
Or
Switch.
if they don't say new, it's the same team, but they don't call it new, and they do a new art style.
What if they do something like New Super Mario Brothers 3 and it looks like a Super Mario Brothers 3 with like all the like set pieces like in the play?
No, like that's cool. Just new art style.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to see stupid 3D Mario, my 2D game. Like
Take some inspiration
look
from the
weird.
Rayman games.
New Super Mario World.
Like maybe it's just me, but I think with Odyssey, I think Nintendo has the bandwidth to do something they haven't done since I was still in preschool. Go a year without putting out a Mario game.
Wouldn't that be nice?
No.
Yeah, they won't. But I mean, it'd be a nice idea.
Why would they do that?
This is a business.
They put out 2 new Super Mario Brothers games within like 5 months of each other.
However, since then they haven't put out another one.
well,
they did put out
it's
Super
more
Mario
okay.
World, which
Are
is
we
a
talking
successor.
about? We're just talking about a game with Mario in the title, as in like whatever.
It's a 2D Mario game that is either a new Super Mario Bros. Game or is happening instead of a new Super Mario Bros. Game, and it's not Super Mario Maker.
But Donald, you were saying to not put out a Mario game at all, which I took to mean like not Mario and Luigi, not Mario Party, right?
Not Mario and Sonic at the Smoking Crater Olympics. Not even
Which they seem like they're not doing.
So I think Ubisoft
nice.
is probably gonna hold on to the rights for it. Maybe they're being selective about it this time. But Steep has the tie-in, or at least a tie-in.
And by the way,
That's right, Steep.
Where's Steep? Is Steep going to be at the Direct?
Is it gonna be the one last thing? It's gonna be Vanilla Steep.
There was this pretty well
Runs like shit. Comes out next year.
There was this pretty well received Olympic expansion, but no, you just get regular ass Steep.
It's gonna be a launch title for the 64 gigabyte card.
I think they should put Steep out, but with the Olympic expansion, but make sure that Russia's not in it.
There you go.
Well, hopefully at this supposed Direct, we'll get some more release dates for the Nintendo Arcade Archives.
Yeah,
right. I totally forgot.
I never got versus Super Mario Brothers, but like when they get Punch Out, I'm gonna do backflips and then buy that.
Wait,
Yeah.
Was there another Mario game announced in the archives besides
so.
the 2 that are out?
Uh,
I mean, like Donkey Kong, but that's not.
no, that wasn't announced.
Oh, that wasn't.
No,
No.
because they
might
don't
not
have the
code
rights.
for it. For the rights, yeah.
You know what? Let's pool together our own resource and just buy the code.
Okay. I got $10 for that.
Okay. So we got Mario Brothers Punch Out versus Super Mario Brothers versus Balloon Fight versus Ice Climber versus Pinball and versus Clue Land.
Okay.
I don't think there's a lot more you can put on there.
Like, I mean, they just need to put out Punch Out, and like they can be done
Versus arm wrestling.
I would.
I'd buy that. Yeah,
pretty cool.
I want some of like the newer stuff too. Like put the arcade archives, those Mario Kart games, and all that stupid stuff. I want to see some like. I want Sheriff. I want Sky Skipper. I want all of that old stuff.
Radar Scope.
Yeah, I'd buy Radar Scope. I'd buy all that crazy old stuff that you'll never find in an arcade anywhere.
And guys, you get one sale.
I want that.
I'll pay $20 for that stuff.
I like the arcade version of Tetris because that was awesome.
Do you guys think we're gonna see a port of Aliens Colonial Marines?
Only if there's a mode that lets you shoot Randy Pitchford in the face.
Aliens Colonial Marines for Switch. It's happening. They didn't cancel the Wii U version. They just ported it to the next generation. They wanted to give us the version we deserved.
So we have a question in the chat from Vortex of Abstinence. Pretty good net handle. Why is there so much pressure on Nintendo to succeed?
Because they failed with the Wii U?
Yeah. I mean, like...
They had a big miss last gen. To the point that the Switch, even though it's doing amazingly and it deserves to, which is actually like kind of a surprise for me, but I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, you can look back at my videos when I went to the event. I was very... But nervous. Yeah. But the thing with the Wii U is that it did not do very well as a console, and we all want Nintendo to succeed. And so I think we're nervous. Well,
I would say that the same pressure that has affected Nintendo, and I think Nintendo does have a little bit of a unicorn sensibility to how people view them. But like Sony with the PS4, there was pressure. Sony with the Vita, there was pressure. Microsoft with the Xbox One, there was pressure. And like, I mean, that blowback after that initial Xbox One reveal, where they had like their whole like no more used games. You buy it once and then it's broken.
TV
like there was a lot of pressure on getting that stuff right, and Nintendo coming from where they were, because Sony, Microsoft, they've never dealt with a failure as big as the Wii U. Even, I mean, people can joke about how like, oh, like the DS mopped the floor with the PSP. Like the PSP carved out a niche and did fine. The Wii U didn't do that.
Right.
I think there's also pressure on Nintendo because as a company, the video game industry is their primary revenue source, and the other companies could just be like, "Oh, video games aren't doing well. We're pulling the plug."
Yep. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
although Sony is in a position where the PlayStation is responsible for a good portion of their profits. It's not like Microsoft, where the entertainment division, which is Xbox, effectively is a rounding error compared to the money they make on like cloud services.
Yeah, and I mean, Microsoft, there's been rumors for a long time about them selling off their games segment. I don't know if those are still hot, but I know like because they had, I think when, I don't know, I'm not up on my Microsoft nitty gritty, but they had like a CEO left, and the new guy who came in wasn't as big of a fan of Xbox, I think.
Yeah, when Ballmer left, I think.
Yes, and then Nadella.
Nadella, who took over. He is all in on like getting Microsoft everywhere, but not as more of like productivity, not so much with games.
Which is probably maybe the right call, because it seems like games are a little bit of a loss leader for them.
The other prediction I'm willing to go to bat for publicly right now, I don't think Rare makes it out of this year.
Like, I think they'll make it to Sea of Thieves. It all depends on how Sea of Thieves does.
Well, Sea of Thieves will do poorly.
Do you think Microsoft and Rare would be willing to strike a deal with Nintendo for an N64 classic?
No.
Nintendo has been notoriously difficult to work with since Rare became part of Microsoft. Like, for example, Everybody except for Nintendo was cool with doing a re-release of GoldenEye on N64 back on, I want to say, I think it might have been on the 360, and I think there was even some deal of like, oh, like we'd put it on Wii too. I don't know the exact specifics, but everybody was on board with it except for Nintendo. And I mean, that might have been because Nintendo didn't see the benefit in it, because if it was going to come out on 360 and have online multiplayer and stuff, Nintendo system wasn't really built for that.
Right. I'm on Twitter right now, just real quick, and I saw Kevin Cassidy from Go Nintendo. He tweeted this thing out that was made by Tiny Cartridge, which has all these headlines sort of put together. One's from Forbes, says it may be time for Nintendo to make games, not consoles. One says Nintendo should abandon home consoles altogether. One says why Nintendo needs to go mobile. One says it's time for Nintendo to exit the console business. And then at the bottom, Nintendo Switch becomes the fastest selling home video game system of all time in the US.
They pitched a perfect game. No, that's what it is. They pitched a perfect game.
And now it makes me almost ask, hey, with this news out, do they change what they're doing at all? Will they just keep going full speed ahead because they already pitched a perfect game? Does this affect what they do with their next handheld console if they decide to have one?
Might affect what they do with mobile.
Yeah, how so?
I don't think there's as much pressure now to succeed in the mobile space now that the Switch is a runaway success.
If they were acting like there was pressure to succeed in the mobile space, then I don't know what the hell they've been doing for the past 2 years.
Making tons of money on Fire Emblem waifus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
I mean, but like if their goal was like, we're going to aggressively pursue mobile, like they didn't do that. Like, they put out Tomo. They did a Mario game, which was cool, but like the $10 buy-in didn't really help.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think across the board, I mean, I don't even think I'm really jumping to conclusions here. Mario Run wasn't as big of a success as hoped. I think it did. I think it still made a lot of money, but just not what the hopes were for it. Well, I think Fire Emblem Heroes is raking it in.
Yeah. I think part of the mobile strategy was really just to get the brand awareness and intellectual property out there in the eyes of more people and in their hands. In that sense, I'd say it probably has been a success so far. Could they have done a better job? Sure. But I think that strategy has been working. I mean, it wasn't really part of the DNA agreement, but Pokemon Go definitely boosted sales of their systems, proving that this strategy could work.
That's true.
If
I
done
forgot
right.
about that.
And that was part of what they wanted to do with this whole mobile strategy. And
October 31st, quarterly earnings report from Nintendo. This is a headline for Mac Rumors, but obviously we know this information. Nintendo says Super Mario Run has yet to reach quote-unquote acceptable profit point nearly 1 year after launch.
Yeah,
which means it's made a profit, but not enough of one, probably compared to other games.
It hasn't made Nintendo-like profits.
Yeah, like, because, I mean, I remember looking at some of the numbers for Super Mario Run, and that, I mean, Fire Emblem Heroes has been their most successful mobile game, I think, by a long stretch. I don't think Animal Crossing is going to have the appeal as Fire Emblem Heroes does, because there's so many characters to pull from in Fire Emblem Heroes, and I know, Donald, it's one of your top games of the year.
Yeah,
and they've been, like, I Fire Emblem Heroes is my favorite Nintendo mobile game. Like, it's not like a runaway version of that, because I did enjoy Super Mario Run. I had some fun with Animal Crossing, and even Pokemon Go, if that counts. But Fire Emblem Heroes is just like, it's a really good representation of Fire Emblem on mobile.
Yeah, and they're still like, they're stringing along people with the Fire Emblem fans with some of the characters that haven't come into the game yet.
Yeah, which is smart. Like, it's frustrating, I'm sure, if you're deep into it, but even if they're just going in there to get their orbs and seeing whatever they can get every day, they're still going into the game regularly.
Yeah, it really helps that they do like you get the first pull on the banner for free now. So
that's a really good touch. Yeah, I booted it because I got a new. The reason why I fell off Fire Emblem Heroes was it was a storage size casualty, but now that I have a new phone with a lot, like 4 times the amount of space, I downloaded it and like booted it back up, and there's been so much added to that game that it feels like I'm playing a completely new one. But I might go through and beat the content that I missed out on.
Yeah. All right. we should move on to our last chunk of the show, which is new business. I want to go through some of this stuff very quickly because there's a lot of games listed here, and I know that we have a lot of stuff to say about Xenoblade. So, Neal, tell us about Pick-a-Pix Deluxe and NBA Playgrounds Enhanced.
Okay, so Pick-a-Pix Deluxe is a Picross style game from, I will bring up, what is it? It's Lightwood Games. I did not really know that much about it other than that it was a Picross-like game. And I started playing it, and it turns out it's a pretty novel Picross game. I think there's a few UI things that bug me about it, but it actually adds a nice twist to how 2D Picross works, where color is a factor. So you have, your typical grid, with numbers, but now they're in different colors, and it changes up how you have to plot each puzzle because there is no longer a guaranteed space in between numbers unless they're of the same color. So that kind of varies it up a little bit, and you also have to switch between different colors to get the puzzle. So it's a novel twist on Picross that's as a Picross junkie, it's making me think about how I figure these out in a slightly different way. And I've been enjoying that a lot. I did like 30, 40 puzzles of it today. It's pretty good. And there's DLC. Weirdly, the DLC pack that seems to be there is black and white puzzles, which seems to defeat the purpose of the game. There being colors and it being Picross. But maybe that they could just be making that could be an optional, traditional Picross pack. But I recommend Pick-a-Pix Deluxe. It's pretty cool.
And there is a demo for it on the eShop as well.
I think it's Christmas themed, so that might be if you're tired of the holidays, it'll be drab.
Nice.
But I also want to mention NBA Playgrounds Enhanced Edition because this is weird. So NBA Playgrounds is a dumpster fire of a basketball game that came out on the Switch back in May. It came out on Switch and other consoles on the same day. The Switch version was hampered with no online play. I had a lot of issues with the game, wrote a review, and it was unscored. Waited for that update for that online multiplayer. Did not come until, I think, almost 2 months later.
It was sometime around E3, I think.
Yeah, because then I think the game came out in early May. So it was a month later is when the online play was added. And they've also updated the game because there's a whole mess of problems with it. But what this enhanced edition is it's there were a lot of free patches for the game on other platforms, but the developer kept on talking about how there was some issue where they couldn't update the game on the schedule that they wanted to because of something with Nintendo's patch requirements or something. I don't know. I don't know the full story on that.
It seems like it was patch size was the issue.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't get the patch down to whatever manageable size.
Okay.
For Nintendo.
They actually the enhanced edition, despite including all this patches, takes up less space than the original game. So what the enhanced edition is that if you bought the game, you can get the enhanced edition for free. It's on sale for $10. It's normally $20. It's on sale for $10 for the next week or so. I don't recommend buying this game. So all the enhanced edition it's just compiling all of the content that was released for free on other consoles into a new package on Switch. There's also DLC that you can unlock all the characters because they're all hidden behind a terrible... Well, actually, it's a cool idea of having trading cards and that's how you get your players, but when I booted it back up, I got a bad draw and I'm dealing with 2 different Dwayne Wades on different teams as my best 2 characters, and it's a bunch of other people. Also, the Hip Hop Gamer is a playable character in this. There's a bunch of YouTubers.
Isn't Hip Hop Gamer more relevant 10 years ago too?
Actually, according to his stats in the game, his first video was in 2011. So maybe I thought I thought he'd been in the game longer than that.
Yeah.
At least I thought I saw him at events longer than that. But
nice.
Who knows? He's going around New York covering video games with his title belt.
Nice.
And now he's in NBA Playgrounds, so I guess that's cool. But NBA Playgrounds is bad. I don't think anybody should buy it. The enhanced edition fixes nothing.
Do they call it enhanced on other platforms?
No, this is just because they couldn't get around the patching stuff.
Okay.
That seems to be the entire reason. But
it's kind of confusing.
Yeah, there are better arcade actually, I don't even really know if there are that many other arcade sports games, but like, I don't know, FIFA's pretty good. NBA 2K18's all right. Play those instead of NBA Playgrounds. It's a bad game.
So your tier list for sports games on Nintendo platforms basically goes NBA, FIFA, NBA Playgrounds, WWE.
And RBI Baseball is probably in between WWE and Playgrounds.
I'd have to play Playgrounds, and I don't want to subject myself to that to find out. But yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. But I guess one last thing. I've been playing a bunch of FIFA on Switch, and FIFA's real good. I'm not a big FIFA head, but I've been loving playing that. In my hand, playing it portably. It's fun. I like soccer.
Is it a good version of that game?
As far as I can tell, yes. And I there's a reason why JP Corbin reviewed that game, because he's the dude that plays more FIFA than all of us play other video games combined. And he's like, it's missing some features, but it's a solid version of FIFA. That was his review. I think he gave it like an 8 out of 10. And I trust JP on soccer video games. And that's part of the reason why I got FIFA, and so far I've been enjoying it a whole lot.
Have him review Mega Man Soccer just for fun.
I think there's a backlog.
No.
There's a backlog of soccer games for him to review on Switch as it is.
Yeah, that's like his job now, is just review soccer games for us. I don't think he'd really complain.
No.
All right. Donald, you've been playing some video games finally, allegedly.
Yeah.
Zelda?
I put some more time into Zelda. That was my first game of 2017. I got 5 shrines in one day. Yay.
Wait, 2018 or 2017? Did you wait 3 months to play a game last year?
No, 2018. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Well, it was also the last game I played in 2017 because I totally missed midnight on New Year's Eve. But yeah, I just bumped a little ahead in Zelda. I got the outfit that I like to play. I like to play Breath of the Wild with, the Gerudo one.
Nice.
Doing my tradition with the Mario wedding dress.
Nice.
And then basically I'm just headed toward. I just got to the stable and I'm headed toward Kakariko now. So at some point I'm just going to break down, tap a Link amiibo, and get Epona and just deal with it that way.
Right. Sick. So do you like it so far?
It's hovering, like, when I think I compared it to a certain other game that if I go any further with this comparison, Neal will probably fire me. So
Link to the Past?
No.
Kirby Epic Yarn?
Metroid Prime.
Okay.
What? How?
But so for what it's worth, so far there's a solid game there. It's just not grabbing me the same way it grabbed all of y'all.
Oh, from that
don't put me in that
group. Yeah, you're insane.
Well, Justin, you played 250 hours of that game, okay?
I think even more.
You broke the hero's path.
Justin, that's on you. That's on you.
No, it's on them for doing that. They put the stuff there. If they didn't want people to do it, they wouldn't have put it there.
Dude, the rewards, you get a piece of shit as a reward. They don't want
so I get another copy
that.
of the game?
Like, and I will say that there's some sort of flaw in Nintendo's design philosophy where, like, Sakurai's there being like, you only need to get one amiibo, and it's like, dude, do you even know who you're talking to? Like,
I was in the room when he said that, and I just looked at everyone. I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
This is why all of our iTunes reviews call all of us Negative Nancy's. I just want to let you know. But we still have a 4.5, so bless up.
Hey, I will be positive on other Zelda games that other people are negative on, like Skyward Sword. So,
no, I mean, like, I love Breath of the Wild.
Everybody can have their own.
It's just that don't collect all the Korok seeds, dude.
Well,
if you're not having fun.
Hey, unfortunately,
stop playing the game.
I didn't mean to go off on this tangent, but unfortunately, this happens every week. I'm sorry, everybody, but unfortunately,
Justin's rant of the week.
Yeah, I should have my own. We should just do a giant Zelda podcast, and we talk about all sorts of stuff.
Gets a minute to shit on Zelda every single week.
I just
give me my minute. Give me my minute.
Hold on, I got to throw in here before Justin goes off.
All right, Zach.
In Ocarina of Time, you collect all those stupid bugs, and you free the Skulltula family, and the last reward is 500 rupee, which you can't even use all of because your pouch only goes up to. It's stupid.
Collecting time is my
Zelda's
favorite Zelda.
dumb.
Zach's got a real good point.
Okay, but my thing is, the world's huge, and everyone's like, this world's great and huge. But unfortunately, the objective in most of that world, where there's almost nothing in a lot of it, is to find Korok seeds. End of rant.
Dude,
Done.
it's pastoral and beautiful. Just like stop and smell the flowers, dude. Just
The point is to look at the birds flying overhead.
yeah, like
They're
could it
flying in a
like
V formation.
do you see that? Do you see that moose? Try to ride it. Like that's Zelda.
I heard monkeys, and I didn't see any.
But like, and I totally get where you're coming from. That like, yeah, the Korok seeds are absurd, and like if you venture out to go get all 800 plus of them, that's insane and probably not a good time. But just
It's like
taking that
getting
game at face value and just
Kirby's Epic Yarn.
I mean, that was a good time, but
I love Kirby's Epic Yarn.
yeah, like, dude, you have your little apartment complex. Kirby's Epic Yarn's a gem. But Breath of the Wild, like the joy of that game for me, and I lost my save data, and I've been playing through it, and I'm about like 10-15 hours into my replay, and it's just fun to wander around. Like
in hard mode, right?
No, actually, because I wanted to actually beat this and get
Okay.
to the DLC, so I'm not doing it in hard mode the second time
Okay.
through. Because hard mode is very, very hard. I had actually started a master mode run before my save data got wiped.
Ooh.
But like it's just fun exploring Breath of the Wild. And
Yeah.
I like that's the joy of that game. That joy it's a different joy than other Zelda games, which it's hard to be like. It's hard to compare Breath of the Wild to other Zelda games because it elicits different feelings than other Zelda games do for me.
I don't know. I get the same feeling in Breath of the Wild that I got in Wind Waker.
I can see that, but it's just I guess more like the dungeons. The dungeons are what kill me.
Oh yeah.
Like even I guess Wind Waker is also a game that de-emphasizes dungeons a whole lot. So I see the similarity there, but like. I'm not looking forward to doing the 3 Divine Beasts again that I haven't done yet in my replay because those are kind of not that much fun. But,
The camel one's just not fun.
God, like I was trying to be real positive about it, and then I got to the damn Divine Beasts. Like, talk about something else.
No video game is perfect. The original Super Mario Land had 12 levels, and I just want to say, like, everyone says, like, oh, this game's unfinished. Every game comes out unfinished. Art is abandoned, not completed, and you bought a $60 package. You don't need to be the best critic in the world. You don't need to be Roger goddamn Ebert every time you play the video game. And then, like, we should always be fair critics, but I also feel like sometimes you'll live a happier life if you just try to enjoy the game, and I say that as a very negative Nancy from time to time.
Yeah, that's a very good way to summarize it, Alex.
And I am glad there's people who enjoy the game. I'm not angry. I just like to throw my 2 cents.
You sound pretty angry.
Oh no, I just wanted to make it clear that I wasn't thrown in that group I've mentioned before that everyone here loves Breath of the Wild. That's it.
You know what's so good in Zelda Breath of the Wild?
That was a good tangent. I had a good time.
Thank you. You know what's amazing in Breath of the Wild is the first time you fight a Lionel, and then like it's this super intimidating boss. And then you come back later, and it's just a regular enemy of the game, but nothing changed, only you did. And how the game structures you as training.
I still haven't even tried.
Yeah.
I'm terrified.
I mean, I'll talk about this a lot because it's been real fun watching my wife, who has never played a Zelda game, like outside of like, I think she tried the original when she was a kid. And like, I was like, here, play Ocarina of Time. And she like got to the Deku Tree and got bored. But she just got all 120 shrines.
Yeah, she
Zelda. I don't even know how much time she's put into it, but like watching her kind of go from like someone who doesn't play that style of video game to killing a Lionel has been like enthralling.
That's cool.
I think it's going to be very hard to have an opinion on both this game and Mario Odyssey, like until we all replay those games in about 3 years. And then we can remove ourselves from the discussion that happens around those games. And then I think we'll all come out with a relatively measured opinion on it all.
That's why I'm liking Breath of the Wild so much now, where I'm just kind of replaying it at my own pace.
Yeah.
It's like, I love that game. It's real good.
Because when when you play a game in the wake of discussion that says this might be the best game of all time, this is the best game of all time, which happened in Odyssey and Zelda Breath of the Wild, which all that does is it encourages you to see the flaws in every single video game that comes out.
Kill hyperbole. Kill it.
Yeah.
Kill it with fire. It's bad. Get it out of your reviews. Stop being like, this might be one of the best games ever. I've probably done it before. I'm trying to learn. I've been doing this for a decade. I started when I was 20. I was real stupid then. Like,
attaching your identity to video games is poisonous, and it will make you enjoy video games much less, which is why I'm not doing a ranked top 10 for myself year.
I have fun doing the ranked top 10, but that's
it fun.
If it stopped being fun, then I would stop doing it. But like around Breath of the Wild, there was so much people just being like, I think I just played the best game ever made, and I'm like, you just finished playing the game. Like, give it a week at least. And I've given it 9 months, and I still really love Breath of the Wild, but I'm still even very hesitant to be like, it might be in my top 5 ever. Like, I don't know that. It's too soon.
I said that about Dragon Quest VIII 3DS.
You did say that in that.
I did.
This might be one of the best games of all time. Did you like bring it up and double check?
You edited the review.
Yeah. So we both messed up, man.
I think I've also said it about Mega Man X.
I think I recall someone saying it was like the best remake ever, or was that just for this year?
It was the best remake of the year.
Yeah,
like that. I mean, it won an award. That Justin, where that at?
Yeah, we're working on that. Hey, don't ruin it. Don't ruin it, Neil. I'm trying. I was like, did he just say that? Stop. What are you doing?
Yeah. Okay, Zach, we messed up. The abstract of your Dragon Quest VIII review. This is one of the best games ever made. Full stop.
Well, we were young in love and had.
The defense of Dragon Quest VIII getting that abstract is that the game was 10 years old to begin with, so it's not like it was like some brand new thing. But
and it's still got a 10.
Yeah,
so
Dragon Quest VIII is a very good video game.
Best game ever shit is stupid, is what I'm going to say. And best game of all time shit is stupid. And perfect game is stupid. Because when you set those expectations and you go into a video game, you're going to be let down because you're subconsciously looking for any reason to think that it might not be that. Because you're basically testing it against your own philosophy. And then it might be the best game ever, but because you see this little flaw here or this little perceived flaw there, you're going to think it's a 7 out of 10 instead of a 9 out of 10.
In all honesty, that's what happened to me because I reviewed Breath of the Wild, so I played it before everybody else got to play it, and I love that game. Like, my feelings on that are very, very strong. I played Odyssey after seeing everybody talk about how it's the best game ever, and I went into that kind of looking for the flaws, and I think that I'll probably come down somewhere as time wears on. Probably Odyssey and Breath of the Wild will go hand in hand as two fantastic games. But right now, I like Breath of the Wild a lot more than Odyssey. But that'll probably even out as I go back to Odyssey without the hyperbole police all over.
This is an interesting conversation to have before we talk about Xenoblade 2.
Yeah, we'll talk about Xenoblade in just a second. Donald has a couple more games. What I will say to just sort of cap this off, because we're gonna be talking about this forever if we keep talking about the merits.
It's a good discussion topic.
It's a great discussion topic every week, and it's still like a pretty good discussion topic. But we got to space it out, especially because, as I discussed last week, and I did talk to you guys in the email thread last week, if you remember. The tentative game of the year plan is for us to do a deliberation where we try to figure out the top 5 games of the year that we all come up with.
It's going to be fantastic. and 3 of us might do that at a PAX East panel too. That's ostensibly the same amount of games.
If we're no, I'm not going to start quoting Giant Bomb here, or else we will literally be here all night.
I think Zelda is a very cohesive game, and it's very good. That's all I want to say.
It might be the best game of the year.
It's all right. There's a quote that like only people who've listened to Giant Bomb recognize.
2 is a better game than Breath of the Wild. There, I said it.
It's I think Cuphead should be higher. Anyways,
if you're saying Nier is not number 1, we're not leaving this room.
Still gonna fight this room.
So Giant Bomb's game of the year this year was like one of the most It's
It was frustrating to listen to.
There were a lot of opinions on it, and it was because of one or two very specific people.
There was a very interesting train wreck to witness.
Yeah, because it was just a lot of people being like, "This is my game of the year, but this is mine. No, but this is mine," and like that seemed to go on for 3 hours.
Yeah,
their actual like, as always, their end of the year stuff is fantastic, but that game of the year stuff just
everything but the deliberations.
Yeah. Well, no, but I mean, like the deliberations for the actual game of the year, but the deliberations for everything else was fine. But it was that because everybody was so strong on their specific games and wouldn't let go until like I don't know. I guess someone went in there with a gun and was like, "No, we need to finish this."
And then some arguments were better than others, and it's fine.
Anyway,
it's fine. That's some good post podcast talk. But look forward to us doing much of the same deliberations that we just criticized, where we have Xenoblade, Breath of the Wild, and Mario Odyssey going head-to-head. Which, by the way, I'm waiting until like 2 or 3 of us beat Xenoblade before we actually go into it. I know Justin and I are going to.
I see no way that Xenoblade would top Mario or Zelda for me.
No.
All right.
And I like Xenoblade. I'm liking Xenoblade a whole lot, but
but I want to at least have like at least 2 of us have finished Xenoblade by the time we have that discussion, so we can have it informed. It won't be number 1, but probably. I mean, who knows? Anything could happen in the last 6 chapters, but you know.
So basically, we'll arrange for that in January 4th, 2019.
I'm thinking
the way I'm going.
Late February, early March is what I'm planning on. And I'm guessing Justin's going to at least be very far. And I'm crit pathing it because I crit path every single JRPG that I play. So I'll at least have an informed number 3 or 4 or 5 to slot it into. So we'll see. Look forward to that. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be the worst episode we've ever done.
It's going to be a good time.
It can't be worse than that episode where we talked about being Jewish for like 45 minutes.
I have heard from one listener to the show who listens every single week that is the best episode our show has ever done. it is called Nintendo Juice Report, and it's on the podcast feed. It's on iTunes. Nintendo Juice Report.
Oh God, that is funny.
Yeah. I need the Benz.
All right. Tell me about L.A. Noire.
Le Noir.
Yes, so I finally, after the download eventually finished on that game, because seriously, even the physical version has to download 13 gigs.
Damn.
Yeah, so I got through the first introductory chapters. I have not played L.A. Noire before. In fact, I don't think I've played a Rockstar open world game before.
Wow.
And like aside from maybe like Grand Theft Auto 1 on PC. That's about the extent of my Rockstar knowledge. So this is more of an education for myself. So far, I've only played it portably, and I'm not noticing any technical issues. It runs fine. The first mission being in the dark is a bit of a pain in the butt, but after that, it runs fine. And I am trying to play it straight with driving, which I know you're not supposed to do in these games. But I'm worried that I am going to total the one police car that they'll give you for the whole game if I go too fast.
Does it run well on the handheld mode? And is it fun on the handheld mode?
Yeah, it's fun, and it's kind of cool because you can even do some of the stuff with the touchscreen, but there's really only been one full investigation that I've done so far, which basically involved finding some evidence and then going in beating the crap out of a guy in his apartment.
Oh, I remember that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I look forward to hearing more. It's $37 still on the eShop for maybe another day or two, which I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I think that goes down at midnight.
It's also $5 or was $5 on PC, so that's always like a hard justification for me to make.
Yeah. There's I got 2 games like that for Christmas: L.A. Noire and Skyrim. So.
Skyrim, I hear that like playing Skyrim in a handheld is actually kind of a game-changing experience for that game. That's just what I've heard.
Yeah.
So there you have
But
it.
I've got one. I've got another big RPG that I've been sort of setting aside right now, and well, I should probably get back to Xenoblade at some point.
Yeah, I think you should, as someone who really loved Xenoblade Chronicles X. Also, do you also mention Never Stop Sneaking here? Are you still enjoying that?
Yes, it's amazing. You give me an excuse for why a game is a roguelike, and suddenly I enjoy it way more. I've also been playing it like 30-minute to an hour bursts.
That's the best way to play that game.
Yeah, just long enough that it's still kind of fun to walk around and just pop guy, shank guy, blow up turret. and the running commentary with the commander and my
major milestone
and all of my sneakers it's still fun.
Nice.
I think this thing might have a surprising place if I ever sit down, because I'm going to have to do I have to do a top 10 for another show, for which thankfully I don't have to do until February.
Right.
Yeah, like
late February.
I like the mechanics of Never Stop Sneaking a whole lot, but I think that game hook gets very, very repetitive.
Is it like the other game we played mid last year, Neil? The other Hotline Miami-esque one, the Mr. Shifty.
It's a lot better.
Similar?
It's a lot better than Mr. Shifty. I mean, the problem is that just the roguelike design, there's a lot of repetition, and the mechanics are very simple. And I think if that game were like a less than 5-hour story-driven experience, it might be one of my favorite games of the year. But because it's a drawn-out 10-hour roguelike experience, it got really, really thin over the course of the game. It just doesn't have enough to hold up over that entire length of the game.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's move on to Xenoblade 2, the last discussion point of the show. I remember we were close to talking about Xenoblade like 30 minutes ago, and then Zelda happened. So let's go around, and I want to find out where everyone is in the game. I'm on chapter 4 and 22 hours in. Justin, how about you?
I'm on chapter 4 still, which you'll notice is the same as last week. I don't know how many hours in I am, but I do have some things to discuss. But I'll let everybody else say their hours.
Yeah. I would hope so, Justin. I'm good. I don't actually. That's all I wanted to say. Neil, where are you at?
It's been a couple days since I played. I got to the area like when you get swallowed up by the Titan in the clouds.
It's like chapter 3.
Maybe? Yeah. I'm in chapter 3 right now.
You just met Vandam?
Yes. Yeah, I'm in that town after like meeting Vandam. And I'm having a real good time. I think I'm somewhere between 10 and 15 hours into the game, and it's like I like the battle system a lot. I like as it keeps on adding stuff to it. It grows
on you a lot.
Yeah. And I like because I'm at a point now where I'm starting to get a pretty good handle on it, and I actually feel powerful when I'm in battle, as opposed to just like, when are these things gonna meters fill up? Come on. And now it's just like, oh no, my meters are gonna fill up. I'm gonna use these, and I'm gonna switch over to the other blade, and then I'm gonna try to execute this topple move at this right time, and then oh yeah, this is great. And that's real cool. So and it's a nice world to run around. I think that the map is very frustrating. I think that every open world game will be forever ruined for me because I like climbing on things and jumping off of cliffs with a hang glider. And yeah, so Zelda has so far ruined Skyrim when I played that, and it's ruining Xenoblade 2 for me. And it's even more frustrating because like Xenoblade 2 is on the same damn engine as Zelda. So I'm just playing this game being like, it'd be so great if I could just climb up this cliff as opposed to like trying to find whatever asinine path to get to the top of this mountain.
Yep.
But it's a very good game.
It's a very interesting game, I think. And Donald, you're still relatively early.
I'm still in the same spot. I still have between work stuff and other games that I've been playing. Like I haven't had time to go back to Xenoblade still.
Okay. No,
that's fair. Yeah, I do want to go back, especially now that the map is unscrewed, and somebody, like, thanks to a random Twitter poster, I do know one of the blades that I want to shoot for.
What, Cosmos?
Yeah.
You get a really cool one that so there's a core that I'm not going to spoil, but I was very happy with a core that I got that I think was part of the story progression. I'm not sure if it's randomized or not, but I have a really
blades you get for story from the stories.
Okay, but it's not. This one doesn't interact with the story at all. It's just a regular blade that I got because of a story core.
Oh,
okay. I know. I kind of bothered by the core stuff because I feel like a lot of those common ones that all look the same are just worthless, and you're just
no,
they're not. A rare.
I'm using one of them actually. My healer is one of the boxer. Is a wind boxer.
Okay. Yeah. I can get into that in a minute, unless you want me to do that now. So.
I just want to know, Zach. Yeah. Zach, how far are you?
I could go to where Neal is at any time, but I've been completing quests in that town you go to, Nia's hometown, and because I don't really want to do them again or go back there necessarily, but I'm 9 or 10 hours in.
Got it. Okay, and Justin, you seem very eager to say something about Xenoblade 2.
So, everybody knows I talked about this last week. My hour count's messed up because the game has like some weird glitch in it where if I think you go to the home menu while you're still or if you put it in sleep mode while you're still in the game, it still counts your time. So it's really obscure. Really? But Neal was talking about how like all those common blades seem worthless, but in Chapter 4 you unlock these mercenary missions and you can send your excess blades on quest.
Raritan mentioned that to me because I was just like, what do I do with all this bullshit? So, he's like, just wait.
So one of the great things about this, for me anyway, is I just leave my Switch idling while I send these guys on missions because they take time to do, and I've like completed so many of these like, side quests. So I'm just like, yeah, my hour count's already. I don't even care. I just like will have it on, and when they finish, I'll like send them on a new quest. And for someone in Chapter 4, I'm already like at the 3rd level of mercenary missions, which is probably ridiculous. And I've been doing like all the side quests and just hunting around. And I was looking up how certain stats were calculated the other day, and I couldn't find anything really. But I did come across this one person talking about this interesting combat, maybe exploit in the game that I've started trying to use. Or we might call it an advanced technique if we're talking like Smash Brothers Melee here. But a lot of these...
Yo, can Pyro wave dash?
Wave dashing? Is it wave dashing?
It feels... Maybe not wave dashing, but... So a lot of people, including Rex using Pyra, can build up the arts meters faster than the 1, 2, 3 combat. So what you do is, after he finishes the first swing of the attack, and as soon as you see the number flash, smack the stick and like let it return, and he'll immediately start his first swing again, and you keep doing that, and you could build up the meter really, really fast.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you might want to try doing that, especially since most people are probably playing as Rex and using Pyra. Yeah. So that's like really helpful in jacking that meter up. So between that, my Poppy being really powered up because I've played too much Tiger so far.
Why is it called Tiger?
I don't know. And I have some good legendary healers on blades on Nia. So like Poppy's not going down with that character, and Nia's just healing everybody up. And there I am just like spamming damage. I found a spot with like level 49 guys, and I think I was level 37. And I started taking them out and gaining like about like a level to half a level per kill, but it was like a little bit of
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I took them out, and then I got to like level 42 and took out like a 48, I think, special boss, and I think I gained a whole level from him. And I've just been like grinding a bit right now after finishing missions, and now I'm going to check out.
What a good idea for you, Justin! Grinding a bit right now.
Yeah,
because I'm like I could do this. Like
Justin grinding a bit right now, Barubi.
So I feel like this new awakening of power within the game. Like there are limits. But man, it's like a lot of fun to just like take these things on, and like I couldn't take 2 on at once, but like you pull one of these higher level things, and like it's like I might have a chance to like really see where I could go with this, and it's a ton of fun. So now I'm like exploring more, getting more blades, and I really have a lot of fun with this game. I feel like you're rewarded for doing a lot.
Tora means tiger in Japanese. That's JCW and TRBR are mention that in the chat.
Nice.
I definitely recommend trying out that attack technique and seeing what you guys think about it.
I will.
I notice that this game gets better the more I play it, like
Yes.
significantly better. and I
That's
so
good.
I'm regretting crit pathing it right now because although I'm like at a pretty good difficulty balance, like I'm like 1 to 2 levels beyond everyone else, I'm also like wishing like I kind of want to explore the world a little more, and I kind of want to experience like more of what the battle combat and the blades have to offer because like I kind of want to get all the nice blades as fast as possible, and I like that you've broken the game, but every time, I would say for the first 15 to 17 hours, every time I turned on that game, I liked it significantly longer than the previous time I played that game.
So, Alex, what level are you at since we're in the same chapter?
I am at this there's one story part where you have to do a mercenary mission, or at least you're highly encouraged to do it. That's where I'm at. And I am at level 30 to 31 all around.
Nice.
Okay. I just checked, and I'm at level 45 in the same spot.
Got it.
He's just grinding.
I haven't turned my. I haven't slept to get that experience in a while, so I could probably jump like another 3 levels.
Oh my lord! I think I'm at like. I think my team's at like 20 right now.
Yeah, me too. Everyone's at 20.
Yeah.
What I am planning on is I want to maybe crit path the game, maybe focus on doing some other side questy stuff, because that's what everyone says you need to do, even though a lot of them are kind of just fetch quests to me that get EXP and money that I desperately need, but they recommend I do that, so maybe I should chew on the world some more. But after I beat the game, I want to loop back around and then fully explore the world, take down those level 75 apes, take down that flying thing that killed me the first time I ran through that field.
Yeah.
And the first
I hate that flying thing. I hate that flying thing so much.
I think there's 2 of them, maybe. I don't know.
I keep on running into flying things. Even in the new area where I'm at, like there's a spot where it's like, oh, you can go above here, or you can go into this like pit of poison. I'm like, oh, there's a side quest there, and it's just like a thing just comes in and one shots me, and I'm like, what the? Come on.
I will say one of the obnoxious things about this game that, like, I mean, there's some things with the menus and whatnot, but one of the worst things, I think, is how the blades have those field skills, and you'll, like, run into something you need to open or do, and then you got to go into the menus and, like, manage, like, oh, let me find the blade, and I have a ton of them now, like, piece them all together to just do it. Just let me do it. Like, just automatically give it to me. Come on.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yep.
But still, it's a fun game. I'm loving it, and like I feel like everything's so rewarding. There's secrets everywhere and stuff to do. It's awesome.
It's just a really damn solid game so far, and like a lot of its stuff shouldn't be as good as it is on paper. It's like, okay, this was in Xenoblade. All right, this kind of stuff is kind of Persona-ish, Shin Megami Tensei-ish. Okay, this story, sometimes it's kind of generic Xenoblade Chronicles X Saturday morning cartoon type stuff, but sometimes it's like one of the best anime I've ever seen. Like it's the story like goes to some really it goes to some really good places. And then, but sometimes it also comes back to some of the problems I had with Xenoblade Chronicles X, where I felt like the story didn't try enough to escape cliche.
But whereas I mean, I think the problem is I think Xenoblade Chronicles the first one is just so damn good.
It's so damn good. Do you remember the Mechonis? And do you remember the voice acting on the Mechonis? And do you remember the first time you fought that giant robot with the Cockney accent? And then do you remember the redemption arc that happens late? I won't even touch it.
I think the story in that game is really good, like 2/3 of the way through, and then it goes like absolutely insane.
The end of that game is one of the best parts of any game ever.
I'm all for my JRPGs having third act fuckery, which is why Chrono Cross is one of my favorite RPGs.
Oh yeah, you're Chrono
Cross is nonsense in every way, shape, and form, and I adore it so much.
Forget X. What if they just port the original Xenoblade to the Switch and then HDify it?
That'd be pretty cool.
I'd play it then.
But do both. Do X2.
I do think Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and even X's combat, I think both of those are way better than Xenoblade Chronicles 1's combat, which is good. It's just that I feel like in the first one there are certain like party setups that work better, and you should do those. And if you don't, you're going to have a bad time.
You're also encouraged to use more of this battle system. I only played like 5-6 hours in X, and I kind of fell off it. But in this game, what I like about it more than the original Xenoblade is that you're encouraged to use more of the battle system, whereas in the original Xenoblade, I don't think I actually used the skill tree. Like, I think I just had a bunch of unredeemed points until maybe the 50-hour mark in that game. Like, I just did the MMO combat, and I never felt encouraged to go beyond it. Even though I love that game. I gave it a 9.5 when I reviewed it for Nintendo World Report, but I think there are at least some parts you can argue that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is certainly an improvement over the first game.
Yeah, I think that the combat is really deep and engaging. That's one of the things that I keep on coming back to whenever I go to that game, is that I'm excited to get into battles and try to like figure them out and puzzle them out when I have to.
And like we talked about it slightly, but for people who haven't played the game yet, and we're saying all this great stuff about the combat, it takes time to get to this awesome combat. It's not all,
and I haven't even seen it all yet. But like it's super slow early on. But once I had now I have 3 party members, and they can each have 2 blades. Like it's starting to like get great.
I don't even... It is, like, not as fast as you want it to be, but I'd argue that a lot of JRPGs are way worse at their ramp-up than Xenoblade 2 is, because Xenoblade 2 doles stuff out, and it gives you 1 tutorial at a time.
Yep.
And they're very...
If they just gave me all this stuff at once, I'd be like, nah, dog.
Yeah. There'll be more time to talk about Xenoblade 2 in the future.
No, you guys keep talking. I gotta go.
Well, all right, Zach. All right, we'll talk about it a little bit more, but good to talk to you. See you next time.
All right, bye guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
But the first time, so I got this game for Christmas, and I played the handheld version of the Switch for the first week of playing that game. So maybe the first 10 hours or so. And my initial impression was actually like it was pretty positive, but with the visuals not being up to snuff and the game not running crazy well on the handheld mode, and then also it being in the early goings, I was like, this kind of reminds me of like Ragnarok Odyssey on Vita, or like one of those Vita MMOE JRPGs. Like, it's better than that, but only marginally, and the story kept me along. But once I got to the TV and once the battle system ramped up, the game just clicks. It really clicks.
It doesn't. I think that it doesn't look as good on handheld. That's one of the, like, it's weird because you see a lot of other games, like, for example, like Mario and Zelda both look great on handheld. I feel like Xenoblade 2 like looks rough on handheld. It's still playable, but it reminds me a lot of playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3D on the new 3DS.
I've been playing a lot on the portable too, just because it's more convenient. Which I know, like, I'm like, oh, this would look so much better on the TV, but like, it's really good for like doing side quests and like non-story stuff because it doesn't matter as much, I guess. So
I think I saw James mention on Twitter about how like he's doing side quest stuff on the go, and then whenever he's doing big story stuff, he does it on the TV. Which that seems like a good idea. This seems like a good way to approach this game, because I think that, like, some of the side quests, guess what? They're not that engaging. That was a problem that I had with other Xenoblade games too, is that there's like infinite side quests to do, and you kind of want to go with them all, but like there's like a lot of them. I do like the quest log in this. In a world where the map is terrible, the quest log's pretty good.
The one interface feature I'd like them to change is they kind of let you buy. They encourage you, and there's one early quest that they kind of
where you can like buy the shop or whatever.
Yeah, buy the shop by buying one of every item in the shop, but not everything's always available till like you upgrade the towns later on.
Yeah,
you have no idea what you've already bought there.
Yep.
So I wish there was like a little like check mark or something somewhere.
Yeah, I was very confused about that because I went around the shops and bought everything there. I was like, what the hell? How come I can't buy the shop?
Yeah, exactly.
And then I read online that like you have to go back later.
Yeah, and I think some people have made like documents of everything that should be in the shop and stuff, but like I shouldn't have to look that up. It should be a simple thing in the game.
Yeah, that is. I think that could be easily solved with a UI
Yeah,
tweak.
definitely.
The last thing I want to touch on, because this was a hot button issue that got like both negative reception from the chat and this show when I brought it up. I really like Rex, and it might just be that I love how crazy his accent is for the main character.
It's so annoying.
But I love it.
So annoying.
And I've grown to love the mid-combat battle dialogue, even though they say it all over again. Like it's the equivalent.
It's nonsense.
The equivalent of Rhyme time in this game is, "You think you can take me?"
Or with a "Don't forget me."
Don't forget me.
Yeah.
I think Rex might be my least favorite of all the characters. I think all his other
Yeah, I like the cat lady's pretty cool, Nia. I like Pyra, as we talked about earlier.
The Blades are the best character in that. Characters in that game.
Dude, Dromark, like I want like a chill like tiger character to be my Blade. He's pretty cool.
So Pyra is an excellent character that actually has a significant amount of depth and might have the most depth in that game. And I think she is like maybe the final example of a year where Nintendo totally killed it on a lot of female characters.
Yeah. Dumb question. Just this is something that I haven't toyed with. I can switch and like control Nia, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. You go to the so you know how in certain story parts it's like the character party has changed.
You have to go to that and then switch it around.
Right. It's in the character menu, so you can access it anytime, or it's in those very specific sections. But you can totally play as Nia riding on Dromark.
Yeah,
which is dope. You can play as Vandam's like goofy ass swagger, which he's kind of hard to control, but kind of a goofball. And then you can also play as the what's his race is called? Nopon?
Nopon.
Yeah, you can also play as the Nopon, and he's like, but I like Rex's movement and Nia's movement the best, and I play as Rex 90% of the time.
Yeah, no, I mean I like Rex because I'd rather control the attacker character, and let the other people like do the healing and the tanking. 2
attackers, 1 heal. That's my way to go, and on Rex.
That's probably. I mean, right now I have 1 of each.
Oh, right. You have the 2 slots.
Yeah, with
Vandam's an attacker, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Half attack, half tank, but I think he's formerly an attacker.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll probably put him in my main party when he joins my crew.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys power up Tora's Poppy, like man, like that thing is not going.
I unlocked a 2nd level in Tiger. I got to go back and play more.
Yeah, like hours.
How long do I need to play to make it
terrible?
Okay?
Well, I completely unlocked all of Poppy's like slots, and then you got to like find some good things to drop in there.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think I still have another of her slots to unlock, but I just don't have a lot of good things to put in there right now. That's my problem with her.
Yeah, you got to get out of you got to escape with the chest to get some more.
I mean, that's like I've done that, but it's still like just what I've gotten hasn't been good boosts.
Yeah, I mean it's all random, so it's more.
Yeah, there's so much random stuff about like what blades you get. What
you can influence it a little, I think, by
the luck hasn't even changed it that much for me.
I mean, there's no way you'd know, really. Like,
yeah, I feel like
you have to upgrade her furnace.
It's I'm trying to choose. I should make a note for potential episode 62 titles. 1, upgrade her furnace. 2, Poppy slots. I'm leaning towards the latter. Yeah.
Okay, there's a hidden stage in level 2 of Tiger that gives you a ton of ether.
Yes, so, I did find that.
Whoa, yeah. Where dat?
I don't think it's always there.
Okay.
I mean, do you want me to describe where it is?
If you want how about this? Let's do a spoiler for 30 seconds. It's spoiler warning. Justin, you have 30 seconds to tell me.
Okay, sometimes there's like, this is a spoiler. Sometimes there's a like lobster that like drops down on the right-hand side of the screen, and I think it's only on the right-hand side, but if like you kill the lobster real quick and just go off the screen, it'll load like this like mini game where you have to like dodge some stuff, and there's like ether to pick up, and then like at the end of it, it'll put you back in the level.
Is that the fastest way to get ether?
Not, I really don't know, because I think you can sell your spare stuff for Ether too. So I don't know. There's like a way to do that in the Poppy menu.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
I don't know what the most effective way is, but I mean, when you're really doing it, you're probably going to get a ton of Ether anyway, so you should really focus on the chests, I think.
Sure. Because with the chests, you can generally get like 600 to 800.
Yeah,
but
there's like bonuses and whatever.
What a fine time to call it on a nice 90-minute episode of Nintendo News Report with one news story. One news story to go around.
And hopefully next week we'll be talking about a lot more.
Yeah. All right.
Woo, woo, woo.
You can follow Zach on Twitter at zmiller19021902. You can follow Justin Bruby on Twitter at King Nintendo Fan. You can follow Donald on Twitter at Donald Mick, DonaldMick. You can follow Neal on Twitter at Enron10. And before I go, is there anywhere we can follow your kid yet?
No. That's coming in Q3. So,
coming soon.
Hopefully there won't be any delays.
I'd be more worried about a surprise E3 appearance, personally.
Is there going to be a tweet where it goes gold?
Pre-order bonus?
Yeah, the pre-order bonus is, I don't know.
Hopefully a very healthy baby and a nice, happy future with your newly forming family.
Let's open a keychain or something.
Yeah. It'll be a plushie.
Nice. Good bants, guys. All right, patreon.com/NWR. Help support the site that supports this show. NintendoWorldReport.com. I have a review of Tiny Metal that just went up. They totally made Indie Advance Wars. It's decent. Yeah, that's our show. Have a nice week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.